Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about season 3 of the show Titans. Fun fact, Alan Ritchson, who plays Hawk in this show, has also played Aquaman in another DC show, Smallville. This season of Titans came out in 2021 and stars Brenton Thwaites, Anna Diop, and Curran Walters. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Season 3 of Titans sees the team taking a trip to Gotham after the death of Jason Todd and the absence of Batman. A new villain by the name of Red Hood emerges, and the team must work together to try and stop him. Titans is a show filled with action and adventure. If you like Teen Titans, Justice League, or Batman Under the Red Hood, then give Titans a try. Season 3 of Titans sees the return of most of our heroes and introduces us to some new characters. Barbara Gordon, Dr. Jonathan Crane, aka Scarecrow, and Tim Drake. This season takes place in Gotham, and with that comes a Bat family centric storyline. The first 3 episodes of this season started off really strong, but I felt like the season kind of went downhill from there. Subscribe down below. We start off this season learning that Jason Todd, played by Curran Walters, is the person who is behind the Red Hood. I was really excited to see the character Red Hood make an appearance in this season of Titans because I felt that the character himself is very interesting and I loved his storyline, and I was really interested to see how they were going to portray this on screen. I felt that in the beginning of the season, we start off really, strong with the Red Hood storyline, but I felt as the season progressed, I lost interest mainly because he becomes less of his own force, but more of a sidekick to Scarecrow. And I felt like the character itself and other media that I've read or watched in regards to the Red Hood shows him as being capable of holding his own and not being a sidekick to anyone. And so I thought that Curran Walters did a great job, playing the Red Hood, but I would have loved to see him be the central focus and not just a sidekick of Scarecrow. The Red Hood is a persona that Jason Todd takes on after being resurrected by the Lazarus Pit. The Lazarus Pit has been around in a lot of Batman comics, and it's usually tied to Rashad, who doesn't make an appearance in this series. And they decided to put the Lazarus Pit in Gotham, which I thought was such a weird take because the Lazarus Pit is extremely powerful because it can bring people back to life and heal wounds. And I was wondering, why would something so powerful be in a city that has such a high crime rate, and this Lazarus Pit, which, like I said, is a very useful pit, is left unguarded. So it just didn't make sense to me why that would be in Gotham. They are going through Robin so fast on this show. We are in season 3 of Titans, and this is also the third Robin that they have introduced us to. I think that the actor that played Tim Drake this season did a great job, but I felt that with DC in general, they have this issue where they lean so heavily on the Batman, characters, and they forget that they have other characters that they can introduce. The Teen Titans comics has so many characters that were in their rosters, and I would love for them to pull more of those characters into this TV show instead of introducing us to more characters from the Bat family. We've gotten enough Bat content, and I would have loved to see, introducing us to more characters who we, may not have known about, because I think that this show would be the perfect introduction for them. Seeing the Scarecrow in this show was interesting because I've always seen him as a Batman villain. I thought that it was interesting that they decided to go with him as a villain and base this season in Gotham, which really made me feel like this story just focuses even more on just like the Bat family. I didn't even know why they would want to go to Gotham in the first place. It's evident in the show. The city turned on them so fast with one video that was released by a supervillain. So clearly they're not wanted there. And why was Batman so weak in this season? Like, Batman has proven throughout the comic books and different TV shows and material that he is smart and he is a great hero. But in this show, they show him as such a weak person. I really hope that, in future seasons, that they focus on a more Titan centric villain instead of, someone that is from one of Batman's villains, because I think that this show does well when they focus on the team as a whole. And, there are a lot of characters to juggle, but with this season and focusing on Scarecrow, it seemed like they were just focusing heavily on Dick and were leaving out the other members. With this season focusing a lot on Dick, they really missed the opportunity to develop more of the characters that are on the team. I thought that Dick was very annoying this season because he was considered the leader of this team, but he was out here barking orders, but then he would go off and do something completely on his own and just not tell anyone else what he was doing. I felt like he was really bad at communicating as a leader. And also, he, took the persona of Nightwing because he really didn't want to be in Batman's shadow. But I felt like this season, that's all he was doing was being in Batman's shadow, going to Gotham and trying to save that city. You're trying so hard to get away from Batman, but you're literally doing everything that Batman would do. And so I just felt that, him as a character was really annoying, and they need to give more screen time to the other characters so they can develop their, characters. In this season, Corey is given this storyline where she's having these visions about, her powers, but they never explain to us why her having these different powers was such an issue. I really wish they would have flushed this out a little bit more, but instead they spent the whole season, going through these visions and something that could have been solved in a couple of episodes and still given us more time to explore more about how, her powers are different from what most Tamaranians have. But they instead spent the whole time talking about these visions that, really just dragged out throughout the whole season. We learned more about Blackfyre this season, and I think Damaris Lewis did a great job portraying the character. It was interesting to see in this season how Blackfyre hated Starfire in the beginning, but then once Starfire rescued her, then immediately it seemed like they became friends. In the comics, Blackfyre is known and not only as Starfire's sister, but also as her arch nemesis. And so I'm interested to see if the show will go down that path or, they're just going to be buddies for the rest of the series. It was also weird that she had a relationship with Connor because that was just out of nowhere. There are so many things on this show that I feel like they expect us to know about Connor, like how he is just some genius, but they never explain to us how he is a genius. It was also weird how this season, how he blew up Blackfire's ships. They never gave an explanation of why he blew up her ship. And then in the following episode, he's like, okay, you can leave now. And then he's helping her rebuild the ship. That is a toxic relationship at its finest. Barbara Gordon was so annoying to me this season, and I feel like a lot of problems that arose this season could have been solved a lot quicker if she just worked with the team. I really did like how they introduced Argus, though, with Margarita V, who you may recognize from Schitt's Creek because she's played by Karen Robinson. And I'm glad that they introduced her in this season, introduce us to, one of the secret organizations that, works to ensure that the world is safe in the DC, comics. Raven and Donna are missing for most of the season. And then, towards the end of the season, they come back, but they don't really do anything until the final episode. I felt that with these two characters, they were given little side missions to prove that, the characters were still part of the story. But I felt like if they would have just left out the characters completely, then it wouldn't have made much of a difference. This season really had a hard time developing its characters. Connor and Beast Boy were there the whole season, but nothing substantial really happened with their characters. The season chose to focus so much on Dick, it forgot about the other characters in this team that the show is about. I really hope that in future seasons they bring back this idea of focusing on the team because there are more members in this team than just Dick, and I really want to see more about the team and not just Dick, especially Beast Boy and Connor. I did, however, like that Beast Boy was able to transform into a different animal besides just a tiger. Because at this point, I was about ready to call him Tiger Boy instead of Beast Boy because that was all he was able to do. I thought it was cool how he was learning not only to rely on his ability to change into different animals or a tiger, but he also learned, more fighting skills. And I thought that that would have been great to explore, his storyline and how hard he's been working at, trying to figure out his own powers while also figuring out how he can utilize his fighting skills. My favorite part of this season is the first couple of episodes where we get like a more Hank centric storyline where, he's hating slash trying to save Jason Todd. It was interesting because we get to see Hank die and then we get to see how the team reacts to that and how, they're trying to reel from his death. This proved that the show was willing to take risk and kill off a character that had been there since the beginning, but also really set up the tone of how the other characters on this show didn't know what Jason Todd was really capable, and him killing Hank really showed that he is not the same person that they knew. I was really excited when I watched these episodes because they really started off really strong, and I thought that they were doing a great job introducing this character. But it really went downhill from there. But I thought that these first, three episodes did a great job of setting up the season. This is season three of Titans, and after two, decent seasons, season three really struggles to find its footing. In this season, we see that the storyline is all over the place, and instead of focusing on a team, they really focus on Dick Grayson and his own adventures. If you haven't seen Titan Season 3, I would suggest that you skip this one. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you have not subscribed, please do so you can keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.